Well, there were a lot of good people around in the Depression. Good policemen too. One fellow, they called him Over-the-Shoulder Johnny. He'd sit with his back to you at the desk and hand the dole ticket over his shoulder. He'd say, "Listen, fellas, we've had the whole of the wallaby team through in the last couple of days. How about trying a few cricketers for a change?" And then there was Hunter of Evora Station. He was the bloke who used to give swagmen a pair of boots every time they came onto the run. He was a Quaker. Every swagman used to go on a pilgrimage to Evora. They cut his shearing belt up once and everyone said, "Well, that'll fix him." But all he did was to buy a case of different size boots. He gave them all new boots. He was good for a handout any time. I think he had a time limit on how long they could stay there, but if they were really tired, they could stay longer. He was a really good man. I suppose he was imposed upon, but I don't think very much, because the fellas who carried their swags in that country were pretty good men. They'd walk 30 miles in a day with a 60-pound swag on their back. They weren't the old-fashioned tramping sort of sundowner, and there was nothing wrong with these blokes. It was the Depression, of course. And the bloke who cut up the belt would probably be one man in 1,000. They cut the belt up to sole their boots. The manager of the neighbouring property complained to Hunter about the swagmen coming through the place, because everyone who ever heard of Hunter would say, "Oh, we've got to go and see this bloke." He would have got an army through there in the Depression, and even a few in the good times. But Hunter of Evora would have been just as well known to the swagmen of Australia as Sergeant Small was in Corindai, the bloke who earned himself such a bad reputation. And if you heard him talking about Sergeant Small, you'd hear him talking about Hunter of Evora. It didn't matter where you went, you heard the two names mentioned together. Well, anyway, Hunter was an outstanding man, but there was also Ellison of Oakey Creek. He was a good man. There were plenty of good people. Even old Campbell of Goorianawar had a traveller's hut, especially for the blokes carrying the swag. They could camp there. There was a water tank and a place to wash your clothes. And it was a good camp too.